Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure and a privilege to be back here with you. It's been a while since I've made my last video, so forgive the hiatus. It's been for great reasons, lots of stuff going on in life, but I'm back, and that's all that matters. The first video back, I wanted it to be a holistic view of the game. Simple, but holistic. So this video is all about fundamentals, and we're going to look at Victor Crouin's example of what some of these fundamentals look like. He is a very solid, fundamentally sound player and a friend of mine, and I appreciate and I respect the amazing trajectory that he's had over the last year as he's been finishing up at Harvard, and now he's playing full-time on the PSA World Tour. Here's what you're going to expect in this video. We're going to, again, through Victor's example, and the videos we're going to watch are going to be from the recent 2022 World Games, and specifically from the final that Victor played against Gregoire Marche. From the one very short clip you're going to watch, we're going to see Victor demonstrating how important it is to watch the ball and our opponent, how important it is to hold our movement until the ball has actually been struck, how important it is to be patient and stable when we're striking, how important it is to actually make micro adjustments, and the value of understanding our optimal striking zone. And I'm going to talk about all of this in a minute. The last thing we're going to look at is the importance of sometimes and oftentimes just hitting the obvious shot with confidence. So let's take a look at this clip with Victor and Gregoire. Very short clip, and I'm going to show you in real time, and then I'm going to show you at quarter speed. So the real time, just watch the subtleties of Victor. Try to pick up on as much of that, the list of those fundamentals we just talked about. See how many of those you can identify in this clip as you watch it. And I'm going to play it back a couple of times for you, okay? Here we go. And let's watch that again. So watch Victor's feet, watch his eyes, try to watch his racket, try to watch all of it. Okay, so now let's watch this same clip, but in slow motion. And what you're going to find in slow motion, we'll talk through it, you're going to see all of these nuances that I just talked about a moment ago. You're going to see Victor demonstrating all of them. So let's start off here. So Gregoire's about to swing, but he doesn't swing. Now at this point, you see Victor's neck is turned so he can keep his eyes on the ball and on Gregoire. And in time, we want to be able to develop the ability to not just watch the ball and our opponent, we need to be able to watch everything in the periphery. So then we want to start watching the racket angle. We want to start understanding what possible shots the opponent has from that position, not only based on their body, their racket face, but also the quality of your shot, your opponent's tendencies. All of these things come into play. And I know at first it sounds like, oh my God, how am I supposed to process all of this information in real time? Well, the reality is you're not actually processing all of that consciously in real time. That's impossible. You are processing it subconsciously because of the chunks of experience and information that you have created in your brain through years and years of conscious practice. That's how these guys do it. So at this point, Victor is not thinking, okay, this ball is tight, Gregoire's coming in at this angle, the only option he has is X. That is all being processed instinctively. The things to focus on over here are the fact that he's watching. His racket is ready for a forehand because that's what he's anticipating is going to happen. And then watch, Gregoire kind of goes to hit the ball, but then doesn't. So watch Victor's feet. He goes, but then he resettles himself. A lot of players just go instinctively for the ball before the opponent has actually hit it. You see Victor resettles himself. Not once has he taken his eyes off the ball, and he's ready to get that forehand because he sees the amount of pressure instinctively, the amount of pressure that Gregoire is under. So if you look up here to the top left of your screen, he's watching the ball and the opponent. He's holding his movement until the ball has been struck. He's remaining patient and stable. He's not cheating. He's not poaching. He's not kind of cramping himself by going into the ball, anticipating too much too soon. And now watch his feet from this position. He's going to make some micro adjustments. So there's an adjustment, there's an adjustment. And he does that in order to be able to get in this distance from the ball that is his optimal hitting zone. So we all want to try and understand how, and again, everyone's different. So my limb length, the length of my arms, the length of my torso, the length of my legs, all of that, even if I'm 5'9", 5'9.5" maybe, if I'm generous. At my height, there could be someone else that's the same height as me, but their dimensions are very different. So my hitting zone, again, based on everything I mentioned, but also your mobility, the way you train, your technique, all of those things, that distance from the ball is different for everyone. But the kind of the fundamental traits are that you don't want to be cramped when you're hitting. You don't want to be overly stretched out and reaching when you're hitting. You want to be stable and set when you're hitting. So those micro adjustments that Victor just made allow him to be stable and set and to get into that optimal striking zone based on how he's practiced his technique. And then obviously he knows that Gregoire was under pressure in the back over here, subconsciously and consciously. The ball is loose, so the obvious and the correct shot would just be that straight drop. One can argue that later, from a tactical perspective, after Victor plays that straight volley drop a couple of times, Gregoire is going to be anticipating that, so Victor could show the straight drop and then play a cross drop. That's getting into more advanced tactics and breaking patterns and deception. I'm just going to highlight it and mention it over here, but we're not going to get into that issue right now. So again, Victor goes and he hits the obvious shot, and with all of those technical nuances being completed well, the outcome, and obviously through many hours of practice, the outcome is that he hits a quality ball that Gregoire is unable to retrieve. So what implications does this have for you? Number one, rewind the video a little bit and look at that list that I shared about some of the technical fundamentals. And then I would encourage you to reflect upon which one of those fundamental attributes are in your wheelhouse, which ones are in there but are inconsistently applied, and which ones are just not in there, period. And then from there, you want to try and prioritize which ones you want to address first, second, third, and so on, and then go out and consciously make those adjustments and train those skills, and then you just kind of keep repeating that process. Now, if you're unclear about what I mean, I've given you an example in point number 2 on the screen, where if you want to say train your ideal hitting zone or your striking distance, well, you might reflect and say, hey, am I even aware of what my optimal striking distance is? Am I aware of when I'm stable and comfortable and how far I want to be from the ball and all of that? And if you say, hey, I have no idea because I've never thought about that before, well, the next time you get on court, ask yourself, am I too close to the ball? And maybe you'll start feeling, oh, wow, I am too close and I am too cramped. Or maybe you'll ask yourself and say, hey, am I too far? Wow, I felt like I was really stretched out and I felt off balance, like I was falling forward and all of that. Obviously, I'm assuming that this is all when you're not under pressure or not under tremendous amounts of pressure. And then based on those sorts of reflections and by raising your awareness as to whether you're too close or too far, you will start getting a sense of, hey, this one felt just right. Once you get a sense of what feels just right, your goal is to try to move your feet, make those micro adjustments by watching the ball, by playing quality shots, by reading, trying to learn to anticipate where your opponent's going to hit the ball, etc., and get into your optimal hitting zone. Now, you can't get into the optimal hitting zone all the time, so please don't think that that's going to happen. There will be times when you're under pressure, the ball's going to be behind you, you might be stretched out more than you would like, etc. But as often as possible, when you're not under pressure, you want to try and refine your basic hitting technique. Now, I know this isn't the easiest process, and that is why, if you found a tremendous amount of value in this video and you want to follow my coaching system that will make your squash journey smoother, exponentially more efficient, and fun, if you're ready to put in consistent effort, if you are keen to work directly with me, either on a one-on-one basis or in small group training, and you appreciate the quality and effectiveness of premium services, please email me at ahad@artperformance.com. I've worked with people from the ages of 10 up to 72 is my oldest student, and he is arguably the most diligent and keen student out there. If you would like that sort of personalized, customized attention to take your game to the next level, regardless of your age, regardless of your competitive aspirations, send me an email. We have lots to discuss. Folks, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please leave a comment. I'd love to hear how your application of today's lessons transpire on court. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And if you know someone that would benefit and appreciate the content of this video, please share the link with them. It goes a long way. One of my biggest aspirations through creating these videos is to educate folks out there about the nuances and the subtleties that are taking place at the highest level of the game. And I hope to provide a roadmap, an actionable roadmap that people can follow to actually improve their own games. Take care, folks, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.